And so while this is the first video that I'm making, I'm going to be honest, this is kind of an intimidating media for me. But I also think it's more honest. I'd rather be able to look at you and let's discuss what we can do. I want us to be aware that within our own community, there is a cottage industry. It's the people. It really is a patriarchy. And somewhere down the line, we'll get into this. But we've got a little body of basically old white men who want to dictate what tactics are acceptable and will be tolerated, what people are allowed to speak and promote that message. They want to be able to isolate and disenfranchise those of us who stray from the mainstream, who are far more concerned about the animals than about reputation, donations, or anything else. If you're here, no, let me rephrase this. We are all here because we care. I didn't become vegan because I had nothing better to do. When I learned about the animal holocaust, it changed my life profoundly. And I'm guessing that applies to a lot of you. We're here because we want to force change. We want to save the animals. We want to make the horror stop. In order to save every animal, we need to figure out how to stop the abuse. Industrial animal abuse is a business. It's all about a bottom line. They already know they're sadistic psychopaths. We're not going to debate them into being decent human beings. We're not going to leaflet the Holocaust into submission. If we want to save the animals, we need to stop those who would profit from causing them harm. Therefore, it's our responsibility to figure out the deterrents, the detriments that we put in place that will kind of make them reconsider, well, maybe it's not a good idea to be torturing animals. Maybe the liabilities are too great. Some of my friends, and a couple of you, I know you disagree with me about this, so please turn the volume down for a minute, okay? We need to address people on their terms. If they have no scruples, no conscience, we need to find the weak link. If that is maybe bringing non-combatants into it, maybe visiting some exposure upon their wives, their children, those people they care about, maybe then we'll start to have some leverage. But if we want to enter a war with a moral checklist of tactics that we may and may not employ because, they're controversial, or I don't want to lower myself to their level. Well, let me be clear. I will lower myself to their level. If people are acting with impunity, taking the most innocent among us, carving them up, displaying their brains, literally displaying their brains and their body parts in their publications, getting accolades, community praise, respectability, I'm willing to do what it takes to make them stop. Petitions? If you want to sign petitions, I'm not going to tell you not to. Well, I won't. Personally, I won't. I've used petitions as a method of bringing the message to a greater audience, using it as a form of cheap advertising. What I want to do is teach you how to use the internet effectively. I'm a 53-year-old disabled woman, okay? If I could, I have no doubt if I were younger, I would be in abusers' backyards, maybe peeping through their bedroom windows saying, I'm here, I know where you are. But there are other ways of doing that. Well, they want to hide from us. Well, maybe it's become difficult, if not illegal, to penetrate labs and factory farms and every other form of dungeon in which animals are abused and tortured, commodified, raped, molested. There are ways of, while it may be more difficult to physically penetrate these dungeons, the internet allows us a gold mine of information and tools to identify those who are committing these crimes, the war crimes. And what I want to do is give you the tools to gather the information. Information is useless unless we know how to use it effectively. So I want to teach you, I want to share with you rather, the tools that I have. I want to share with you that which I've found to be effective. And I want us to understand it together. Even if you are alone physically where you are, I want every one of us to understand. Together, we are powerful. They bring us to court, they prosecute us because they're afraid of what we have to say. Understand that you have power, and understand that those in the movement who would take tactics off the table, who would ostracize you for saying things that are controversial, those people don't matter, okay? If I were in a cage being tortured, I would want the most radical among you to be fighting for me. I wouldn't want you to go debate whether I'm being tortured within guidelines set up by the federal government. Since 2009, negotiation is over, sought to be an instrument of defiance, disruption, and confrontation in addressing those who make money exploiting, abusing animals, and do it with the full protection of the law. Our website was a weapon. I know of no other website where we exposed a horse farm in Florida. They were starving their horses. Within days of putting this up on the site, the ASPCA stepped in, all the horses were removed, they were rescued, and the abuser was prosecuted. I know of no other website that exposed a pet store for, again, abusing its animals, treating them poorly. While I'm not going to promote welfare, they did, rather than being confronted by our community, they allowed us to actually go in every week and make sure that the animals were not being mistreated. They actually set up a program of adopting out rescued animals, and this was not for profit. I know of no other website where if we exposed a vivisector, the security cameras went up, personal bodyguards were hired, and then they would run to the court. And seek protection because they didn't want us. They did not want activists knowing who they were, where they were, or what they did. Our negotiation is over. In moving to YouTube, our website pretty much ran its useful life. In moving to YouTube, I want to reach an audience of activists that need to hear the message. Moderation in the face of atrocity is a poison. We need to be empowered among ourselves. We need the tools to go out there and be able to effectively confront, expose, and stop abusers. Let me introduce myself. My name is Camille Marino. Google it. You will see that I'm a stalker, a terrorist, a crazed woman. You'll see a lot of things about me. What you will never ever see is that I've ever snitched in court, never apologized. Well, no, I apologize for one thing. I apologize for not having done nearly enough.